Welcome back everyone to part 2 of our corner to corner blanket. Now before we get started, I'm just going to open this up for you to show you, well, if we can see, I don't know if I can get this whole thing in my camera, but it's about 30 rows. I'm just going to count for you so you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so we have 36 rows that go across. If I can open this so you can see. 36 rows across and 36 rows, of course, right now on this side, like we talked about, so that you're this way, up this side, and across the bottom, each have 36 rows. Now before we start to decrease, this is where I'm going to leave this blanket, and it measures, let's see what it measures. This is a great size blanket for, bassinet, car seat, carriage, when the baby is small, and the crib size would be way bigger, but this is a great size for the newborn. This is 30 inches. Now it's going to be 30 inches square, but we're going to add an edge on this when we're done. But for right now, this part of the video, part 2, is going to show us how to decrease and make this a square. So we've worked half the blanket, and now we're going to work the other half by decreasing. But before I do that, I'd like to just say I'm glad you're here with me, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, share if you'd like, subscribe, that really helps me, and remember to ring that bell so that you can see the upcoming videos. Okay, so this part, I've left the last square here so that you can work that with me on this last, I'm just going to pull back here, on these last couple of squares, so that we're going to start to decrease and make it a square. So we're going to insert the hook into this top of this square here and slip stitch and chain up 3. And now we still need those 3 double crochets. 1, oops, 2, sometimes you have to get your other work out of the way, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into that top square. Now normally we would chain up 3, do our 3 double crochets, chain up 6, and continue to increase our blanket. But at this point we are going to stop increasing. So now that we've slip stitched these 2 across, we're going to bring this blanket across this way. So instead of increasing this way, we're going to decrease. We're going to stop here. This is going to be our top row. And every time we come up to this block, we're going to turn around and go back down. So how to get over here is we have to turn our work around, okay? And we're going to slip stitch, you can see here, we can chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to go into these stitches here and slip stitch across until we get to this space here to make our block. So slip stitch into the next stitch, 1, and the next 2, and the next 3. Now in this one here, we're going to make our double crochets. So we're going to slip stitch in there and chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And double crochet 3 times. 1, whoops, 2, oops, I have a slippery hook tonight. That's my tension. I had mentioned in a prior video that when you're having trouble with your hook or your stitches being loose, is because the tension over here is not right. So always readjust your working yarn in whatever hand that you're working with, if you're left-handed or right-handed. Make sure that your working yarn tension is snug, otherwise you'll keep dropping that stitch. Okay, so now we have our 4 double crochets with that chain up 3 and 3 double crochets. And we go to the next group and we're going to slip stitch into there and do the same, chain up 3. And now you can see how this side is being formed square. See, we've got that nice corner going on here. And this is all we're going to do back and forth, but I'm going to do a complete row or 2 with you so that you can see how we turn the corners. But in the middle here, all these stitches are going to be the same. So again, we're going to slip stitch to the top in this top loop space. So slip stitch in there, chain up 3, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, insert your hook into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2 more. And then again, to the top of this space, into that, between those 2 posts, you can see that there's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in here, we're going to put a slip stitch. And then chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Get that out of the way. And then 3 double crochets. So yarn over, insert into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and 2. And again, for a double crochet, and again. There we go. So we have our 4 posts. Then we just slide over to the next space here, the top of the next one, because we're going to climb up this ladder here. So we're going to go right all the way to the other end. So slip stitch and chain 3. You know, when you get going on this corner to corner, in the past I have been known to make a mistake right here, and after I slip stitch I go ahead and make that double crochet, which is wrong. You have to remember to make your chain up 3. So if you didn't do that and you just slip stitch like this and then made a double crochet, what happens is it's too short and it leans to the left. So instead of being more of a square, you get more like this. It kind of leans across, and it's not right. And what happens is you wouldn't notice it until you're coming back all the way the other direction, and then you get there and it's like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And then you have to, of course, you know, you can let it go, but I would have to tear it out and fix that. But this is why it's better to go slow and remember to do each step on each block. So it's a chain up 3 and 3 double crochets. And it's good to say it out loud, like here, slip stitch, chain up 3. And if you do that enough times, you will begin to see it ahead of time, and you won't have to do that. But for the beginner, I would say to say each step as you go. Like here we go again. I would go in for a slip stitch, and I would say that, and then chain up 3 before you make those 3 double crochets. And then you wouldn't be apt to make an error there. You'd probably be ahead of the game, knowing and seeing it as you get accustomed to seeing it as you go. But like everything, repetition is what makes us, you know, better crocheters. So sometimes you have to start with the basics and make sure you do all the steps. So I'm just going to move a little bit faster here so we can get across this row and then turn the corner, and that's when you're going to start seeing the decrease in this blanket, and it starts to form a square. Now there is other, you know, things you can do with the corner to corner. There's so many things you can do with this, But this is our basic corner to corner blanket. You can make this as big or as small as you'd like by just continuing to adding with that chain up 6 on either end. But we're not going to make this any bigger. We just want to show you how to square it off and decrease the stitches. And it goes really fast. Now, when you're an experienced crocheter, you know, you can make a blanket like this in, you know, a couple of hours. I would say 2-3 hours. Now see, I'm going to show you something. Now what, to your eye, you can see that this is wrong. So you have this square looking block here. As you can see, these blocks are going up. And right here, a fail. No chain up 3. So I hope you can see how that piece right here is missing because we didn't bring it up high enough with the chain up 3. See that? Right there. So we slip stitch and chain up 3. That's why it's a good thing to say what you're doing until you can see it happening in front of you, so you don't have to go all the way up and all the way back and have to tear it all out. So we want to remember to slip stitch, chain up 3, and then proceed with their 3 double crochets. So I hope you are enjoying the lessons and finding new skills in your crocheting. It's so fun to see so many people crocheting now. The crochet world is getting bigger and bigger, and I think this year that we've been through with everyone being at home has found new things to do, and crochet is one of them. You know, there more and more people are doing the arts and painting and crocheting and knitting and music and just so many different things to bring out your skills. When you find something that's fun and you can see your development, you really get involved in your craft, it is so rewarding to take a ball of yarn that doesn't really look like much and then make this beautiful blanket, and the design is just gorgeous. It makes a gorgeous warm blanket because the stitches are close together. There's not much space between them, so it's a very nice warm heavy blanket, and it's just beautiful. You can make these any color. You can change color as you go. You can make stripes. You can make 2 colors and change every few rows. You can make it a different color every row. That's a little bit of work because you have to stop and change your yarn. But with practice, anyone can do it. It really is a pretty stitch. It makes a lot of designs with changing color and such. And as you go, you can experiment with that. And like I said, this particular stitch can make any size blanket. You just have to keep on going. And let's see here, how close are we to the end up here? We're not too far. So again, every now and then I will repeat what we're doing. So for the next one, I will tell you again in case you can't really see when I'm going this fast. Okay, so here we're going to slip stitch into that top of that next block and chain up 3. And then 3 double crochets. So there's 1, yarn over, insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and 2. And just like that. Well, I say just like that, and then I don't grab the yarn, see? So even experienced crocheters will miss a beat sometimes. But normally, when that happens, I can feel it. I know immediately that I've lost that stitch or haven't felt it. Because you get used to how it feels. And when it doesn't flow, you know that you've made a goof somewhere, so you can go back and straighten it out. So, I hope you're all well. I can't believe we're already in February. I'm looking forward to spring. Winter is not my favorite. I feel better in better weather, so I'm looking forward to that. My aches and pains go away when the sun is shining. Well, not all the way gone, but much better in the warmer weather, so I'm looking forward to it. It's been really cold, unusually cold this year, so in the south for us, so I'm hoping that spring comes in with a bang and temperatures rise and sunshine. And you know, with everything that is going on, even staying home is nice if you can sit outside and get some sunshine. So that's what I'm looking forward to in doing this, because I crochet just about every day year round. It doesn't matter how hot or cold it is. I pretty much do this all the time. Making something, creating something, making a gift for someone, and now here I'm teaching you my skills, and I'm so happy that I can do that because, like I said, a lot of people are home and they need something to do. Okay, so we're back at the top at the other end, and we're going to bring these two together, and we're not going to go up with that chain 6 and make any more, so we're just going to slip stitch to these, bring these two together. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn that work around. Now see, that didn't take long to do that whole side, and each one is going to get less time because we are shortening each row at this point. So every time we do a row, it's going to be shorter, and it will then all of a sudden be done, and you'll be like amazed at how fast this goes. Okay, so this is in this stitch, so we're going to slip stitch in the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. That just gets us over to where we need to be into this space here. So slip stitch right into there, and then we're going to turn it. I'm going to show you, turn it towards this way so we can see this is the same row we just did coming this way, and now we're going to go back this way. But we've shortened it by a block, and each time, like I said, we're going back and forth, shortens the row until this line will come up, and it'll come up from the bottom on the other side, and before you know it, as you come back and forth, you'll be left with one block, just like in the beginning where you had the 1 block, then the 2, then the 3, then the 4, and such, like over here in this corner. So when we get finished, we will be coming to this direction and be left with just the 1 block. So when you get to each end, you remember just to slip stitch and chain 1, turn, slip stitch across your block, and then continue. So right here we will chain 3 and make 3 double crochets in here. 1, 2, and 3, and then slip stitch into the next one at the top here. Slip stitch and chain 3 and 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. Now we have this on 3 parts. We're going to do another video for the edging. We have part 1 that gets you started. This is part 2 that teaches you how to decrease and go back down the other side of the blanket. And then the last video will be, once this is complete, we will put an edge on the blanket. Now you can leave it as is. It does not need an edge. It has a beautiful shape. When we're finished, it's pretty square. You won't have these ridges if you just leave it as is. It'll be straight like here. It'll be straight like that all the way around, so you don't really need it to put an edge on it. But if you like a scallop or something like that, then we'll go ahead and put an edge on the blanket, and maybe even with a different color. We'll see. So we'll figure that out when we get this part finished on part 2. I hope to have several videos of small projects right now so that the beginner can grasp crocheting and then move on to a bit harder projects. But you have to remember that with every project, they may seem difficult, but it's always the same. It just remember where to put your stitch. If you put it in the right place, your projects are not that hard. Like here, we need to put our slip stitch here. Now we don't put it down here, we don't put it in the stitch, we don't put it over here. Right here at the top of this 4 post goes right into that chain up 3 here. And as long as you remember where your stitches go, everybody can do this. So we chain up 3 and then 3 double crochets into that same space that we slip stitch into. There we go. So slip stitch into the top of the next one and pull through. This little ball wants to chase me around the table here. Okay, so now we're going to chain up 3 and 3 double crochets right in there. 1, 2, and 3, and slip stitch. Now let's put that down and see how that's looking. See that's a nice square edge there, and that's what we're doing. We're just coming back and forth, and at the corners we're just not adding any more. We're ending on this block, turning it around, and going down the other side. Now we've been doing that all along, just building. Now we do kind of the same thing to decrease, just we're not adding any more at the very tops on either end. But all the work in the middle is the same. So except for the very last stitch, all of these stitches in the blanket are worked the same, coming and going, as they say. So I hope you enjoy this corner to corner project. I know I love to do it because it is fast and easy, and once you get the hang of it, really is a fun project. I make all kinds of things with this, and we will do that as we go. Scarves and hats and gloves, all kinds of things with this corner to corner stitch. So I'm going to do this row here with you and turn the corner again, and then if we have to, oh, now see that I just made a mistake there. I chained 1 and we don't do that, so we're going to slip stitch into the next one, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. But I caught that because I can tell by the way it feels that something was wrong. You'll get there, and you'll understand what I mean by you can feel it. You don't even have to see it, but you can feel a mistake because it just stops flowing. It's not right, and you'll find that you can feel it, you can see it, and it's good to catch it when you do it, because then you don't have to tear anything out, just that one little mistake. But crochet is really fun. Now see, I just had to wrap that yarn around my finger again because the tension has slipped through my hand. Now if you can't adjust it with just your finger, just take it off your hand and readjust, and that'll help you continue. The other way, when you're working fast like this, you can just put it around your finger and not through all your other fingers. You don't have to do that, but I don't feel comfortable with that. I've been doing so long the other way that I like to have my yarn over the index, under the middle, over the ring finger, so that when I close my hand to do the work, I've got some tension and I've got a good hold of it. And I can adjust the tension and know when to let it slide more, when to let it loose a little bit, or when to tighten it up. And we're going to chain up 3 and 3 double crochets here. I'm just moving fast because I want to show you the corners again before I move on to the closing of this project, and putting an edge on it will come with the next video. So we're almost to the top again, and see how fast this goes once you get going. And I'm sure you think, oh my, I'll never be able to crochet that fast, and trust me, you will. Because crochet, once your hands know what they do, you know, muscle memory is so much. It will just happen for you. And this is a fantastic stitch and blanket practice so that you can pick up, you learn speed, you learn recognition of your stitches, you know the feel of it and how to find it just by moving your hands. Like if you watch here, when I'm working a stitch, like you slip stitch into this one, and then I grab it right where I'm going to work with my left hand and chain up 3, and then the hook goes right to my finger, right to this middle finger down here, right on it, and right through there. So 1, 2, oops, of course if my tension was good, 2 and 3, and that way I know I'm in the right place. So again, we're going to slip stitch, chain up 3, and work right on that finger. So the hook is hitting your finger under here right away, and you know that's where you're at. So you know you could do this with your eyes closed after a while. Let's see, we're almost to the other side, and then we're going to decrease one more time. And then I'm going to let you go until we'll pick it up the very end. We will pick up on the next video with the edging. We will put an edging, not sure what yet, but I will think about that and decide whether I'm going to do it in the same color or change color. I may change color just to show you how to do that, because you can of course put an edging on with this color or whatever color that you're working with, or you don't need an edge at all. So it depends on what you like your finished product to look like. I like an edge sometimes, and sometimes I just leave it plain. Sometimes you know, less is more, so it depends. Now here we are again. So now we're on the 4th row already, closing. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here we're going to, right like all the others, we're going to slip stitch into there, but we're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And now you can see how nice and squared off this is coming. And now we have 4 blocks, then we'll have 5, and so on right across. So you have to make your slip stitch, chain 1, turn your work, and then slip stitch in the next 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're back to that space again, so we're going to slip stitch in there and chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now remember that if we were adding another row, we would chain up 6 and make another block. But here we just chain up 3, make our 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and we'll bring these together with a slip stitch and chain up 3, and then begin again with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and slip stitch to the next group, chain up 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch to the next, chain up 3, and 3 double crochets. And that's all there is to it, all the way down to get to the other side. And I'm just going to stop right here and show you. It's so pretty. So each time you come around and you make your side piece on either end, you're going to wind up working this block this way, and you're going to slip stitch here. You're going to chain one and turn around and then work across that top of that one and then connect to the next one. So I'm going to pull this out because we haven't gone too far and show you this one more time on this side, and then I'm going to let you finish it up on your own, and I'll meet up with you in the next video. Okay, so here we are finishing this block. So we need 4 posts, so we need 1 more double crochet in there, 1 there. Now when you get to the top, remember, all we're going to do now is slip stitch into that block to secure that side, and chain 1 and then turn around and slip stitch into 1, 2, 3 double crochets. You can see them here. So 1, 2, and 3. Then I turn my work facing, it's going this way, but we want to bring it this way so this is facing you, and chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. That chain up 3 will happen every time you're turning and going after you've done your slip stitches, and that's your first post on this block. And 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then we bring these two together with a slip stitch and chain up 3. There we go. 3 double crochets and a slip stitch, chain up 3, and 3 double crochets. And there you have it. So I'm going to let you go ahead and work on that, so you can stop the video and watch it and listen to how I show you, and you can finish up your blanket, and I will meet up with you at the last couple of blocks. We will have 1 block left in the corner. We'll work that one together, and then we'll put our edge on our blanket. Alright then, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really enjoy my time spent with you and bringing my craft to you. You can share this video and bring it to your friends. Subscribe, that helps me a lot. And remember to bring that bell so that you can see the upcoming videos. So it's a good reminder. Also, you can go to CapesCrochet Creations on Etsy for some of my products. Some are on sale. There'll be new items by the end of the week, next week. So keep an eye for those. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.